What's up, everybody? It's Little Rocker Cutie 2005, also known as Andre, coming at you again on the Late Night Frights channel. And I know it's pretty odd to see me on Tuesday, but all random things. This is usually his day. He had some stuff going on, so him and I switched days this week. I'm thinking I should be back to Thursdays next week. I'm not too sure yet, but anyways, the theme this week is killer little girls. Now, I had a tough time kind of deciding what to review, but because I was thinking that I wasn't sure what really classified, you know, a killer little girl movie. I didn't know what there were, but then the Jay Sloan and all random things were telling me like what would fit in there, you know, like Orphan. Oh shoot, I've already lost track. But when they told me this one, I had to do it, and it is Carrie. And this is the '76 original, directed by Brian DePalma, based on the Stephen King novel. I've already talked about this movie in a lot of detail on my channel. There's actually a video where me and Buffy's Man, who's my sidekick on there, we talk about this one, the sequel from '99, and the 2013 remake. But that's a pretty well detailed video. So if you guys want to know more than what I can provide in this one, you know, go to my channel and check that out. But this movie stars Sissy Spacek and Piper Laurie, along with John Travolta, Nancy Allen, PJ Souls. You just got a lot of good people in this movie. But it's about this high school girl, and she's bullied, picked on, you know, the whole 9 yards, and she's pretty much, you know, bullied again at home by her mother. And so basically, you know, you get in the opening, it starts with a volleyball game, and you can hear a couple girls say, "Hit it to Carrie, she'll blow it." They hit it to her, of course she misses. The girls get pissed, and then, you know, one of them just slaps her and says, I won't say the line on here, but if you've seen this, you know what she says. And then it cuts to the opening credits, and you get a shower scene, and basically, you know, Carrie gets her first period. She doesn't know what's going on, and all the other girls start just picking on her, chanting, plug it out, throw tampons at her and all this crap. And the gym teacher comes in and gets them to quit it, and basically then she finds out what's going on and tries to calm Carrie down, and you get to, and it's in the principal's office, and they tell her, you know, just take the rest of the week of PE off, you know, go to the library, whatever. And they call her mother. And then Carrie's walking home. Get this kid on a bike who, creepy Carrie. She just looks at him and knocks him off his bike, and it's like, well, wait a minute, and I'm kind of losing my mind. So sorry guys. But you get to Carrie gets home, and her mother's there, and she says, "You're a woman now," and she slaps her with this book and starts spouting off all this religious stuff, and then she drags her into this closet where she locks her in, and she's supposed to pray or whatever. And God, I've seen this movie so many times, it's hard for me to talk about, and I've talked about it so much. But you get to, I think it's in that same scene where Carrie's staring at a mirror, and it starts moving and it breaks. And then you get to, I think it's the next day at school, where the rest of the girls, all the bullies, you know, Nancy Allen she's Chris, she's kind of the leader of the bullies, and then PJ Souls is Norma, her little sidekick. You might know her, she always wears a red baseball cap. And they're stuck, you know, serving detention for the whole weekend. If they're suspended, and they won't take the prom tickets. So basically, you know, they're stuck doing detention. You know, Chris gets all pissed off and starts spouting a bunch of crap. You know, I ain't gonna do this, and blah blah blah. The gym teacher just smacks her, which for me is just a really great scene. I love that part. And then she takes off because the rest of the girls, you know, don't want to stick with her, and so she's all pissed off, and she gets with her boyfriend Billy, who's played by John Travolta in his first role. But they're pretty much, you know, driving down the road, and they start talking, you know, and they basically come up with a plan to kind of like to get revenge. So you get to probably a little bit later, and Sue, who's played by Amy Irving, she comes up with a plan to have her boyfriend Tommy take Carrie to the prom. And so, you know, Tommy goes and asks her, and Carrie says no at first, and she keeps saying no, but then and he shows up at her house, and she finally says she'll go. And so we get to, I think it's like the next part, and Billy and Chris, they're at this pig farm trying to kill a couple pigs because that's part of their plan. You know, they're gonna dump a bucket of blood on her at the prom. So I'm just gonna skip over a bunch of stuff because there's like a bunch of filler. Well, there's not much filler. I mean, this is only an hour and a half movie, but it's the night of prom, and Carrie's getting ready, and she's got this really nice pink dress on that she made herself, and her mother is, again, you know, spouting the religious stuff. She goes, "Red. I might have known it'd be red." And it's just a crazy scene because of the confrontation between them. And, you know, it's still in the same scene, but you get to this part where Carrie's using her powers to kind of throw her mother on the bed and just sit down. And that's when Tommy shows up to take her to prom. And of course, you get to the prom scene, which hyped up in the trailers. We all know it. It's an iconic scene in horror, so get a little bit of filler, you know, Tommy and Carrie talking, dancing, and there's a scene where the gym teacher comes and talks to her, and then you get to where they're voting for the prom king and queen. Well, everybody's voted, and if you notice, it's Norma, one of Chris's little lackeys. She's going around collecting the ballots, which once she gets them all, she takes the real ballots and pretty much stuffs them under a table, and then she has all the ones that they marked Tommy and Carrie, because that's part of the plan. So basically, you know, Tommy and Carrie, they get voted prom king and queen, which is just what Chris was waiting for. And, you know, Sue gets there, and she sees that, you know, Carrie's been voted the prom queen. So, and she's just really happy for it. But then she's standing up to the side, and she sees this rope moving. Well, she starts walking out really slowly, kind of looking up, and she's like, "Well, what is that?" And the gym teacher actually sees her. So, and of course she's not supposed to be there. So, you know, the gym teacher basically kind of starts, you know, pushing her out. And actually before this, she sees Billy and Chris under the stairs with the rope. So she knows what's going on. And she's trying to tell the gym teacher. The gym teacher ain't listening to her. And once the gym teacher gets her thrown out, that's when Chris pulls the rope, dumps the bucket of blood. And so you get this really, it's like really weird because it goes all silent except for, you know, the blood dripping and the bucket kind of swinging. So you don't really hear anything except for that. And then the bucket falls and hits Tommy on the head, so he's pretty much out for the count, dead. And basically, you know, Carrie hears everybody pretty much laughing at her. So she just snaps. I mean, locks all the doors. Then flips the lights to red. I mean, it's just a fantastic scene. I mean, I could go on and on about this, but I'm trying to keep it under 10 minutes. But, you know, basically she kills pretty much everybody. One thing I will point out is that when Norma gets killed, she gets hit with a fire hose. And when her death scene, when the water's hitting her in the side of the head, it actually burst her eardrum during filming, and that's the footage they used. The gym teacher gets it with a basketball backboard. One of the teachers gets electrocuted, and that's how the fire starts. And, you know, basically Carrie just walks out of there and leaves everybody else to die. So she's walking down the road covered in blood and everything. Billy and Chris are coming up behind her in the car, and Chris is driving. She floors it, just starts charging at her. Carrie just turns, looks, and, you know, car crashes. She looks at it again, just blows up. And you get to the final act, which is, you know, her mother talking. Carrie takes a bath and looks for her mother. Her mother tells her about the night that she was, you know, basically conceived. And so, you know, and it gets to, you know, they're going to pray one last time. Her mother pulls a knife, literally stabs her in the back. And so she's tumbling down the stairs now. Her mother's coming down with the knife, and it's like, you know, kind of like she's acting like it's a religious thing. So, you know, and Carrie's just totally scared, you know, thinking, what am I going to do? And then she just starts looking at all these knives and kitchen stuff and just impaling her with each one of them. And then that's how she kills her mother. And so she walks up to her mother's body, you know, pulls the knife out and just gives this really blood-curdling scream, which is when you hear this like really weird creaking sound, because all these rocks, and this was actually in the book, and it's more shown in the remake, but all these rocks start really falling on the house, and the house actually starts sinking into the ground. So you pretty much, that's how, you know, Carrie dies. She pretty much goes out, you know, like that. And so you get to the very final scene. You know, it's Sue's walking down the street, and she's walking to where Carrie's house was, because it's now considered a grave. And so, you know, she's down by the grave, and she's going to put flowers on it. Well, she goes down to put flowers on it, and a hand comes out and grabs her. It's Carrie's hand, and it just grabs her in. Yeah, she ends up just waking up screaming bloody murder, and that is pretty much how the movie ends. But that was my little review of Carrie. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, if you want to know more about this one, you know, the remake, the 99 sequel, you know, check out the video on my channel with Buffy Xenaman. Once again, you know, Little Rocker Cutie 2005, also known as Andre, telling you to enjoy life, enjoy some Skittles, enjoy some Starburst, keep it forever horror, and in the faithful words, in the immortal words of my partner Chris, eat some chicken, and I'll see you guys next week.